thank you for joining me again. So you're joined today by me and 3 of my friends. 2 4 kilos and 1 6 kilo kettlebell. Go up or go down weights if you want to or need to. You can also do a lot of this without any weight at all, or you can use hand weights if you want to. So we're going to start by warming up. Step your left leg behind your right. The arms go over to the right too. Come all the way up and over and change sides. So just windmilling the arms, trying to dip that back knee down towards the floor. Each time you go into your little curtsy lunge, powering up through the front leg each time you stand. Breathing nice and deeply. Warming up our breathing muscles too, loosening up our rib cages. Just do another 2 or 3 of these. Reach over to your left one last time, and that's done. Great. So we're going to stand with left foot back, right foot forward to begin. The next one. Come into a lunge, then step forward with that left leg. So you lunge forward and back. Good. Another 3. Try and have the legs lining up with the hips as much as possible. And that's our last one. Change the legs over. So we'll start with right leg back, right arm forward, the knee bends, step forward, the left arm comes forward, and then we oppose each time. Trying as best we can to keep the feet still on the mat, or the left foot still on the mat. A couple more of these. Quite tiring workout, warm up today, I'm afraid. And that's our last one. Well done. Okay, so now let's step the feet pretty wide. So we'll turn the toes out, bring the arms out to the side, knit the fingers together behind the head, come down into a squat. So we're sitting down as though we're sitting down onto a low seat, standing tall, pressing the hips forward each time. A breath in as you come down, a breath out as you stand. As you come down, try not to arch the neck. So you're pretty much looking at a space, a point, about 3 feet in front of you on the floor when you come down. Exhaling as you stand, feeling the pelvic floor beginning to wake up. Keep on like this. If it troubles your neck or anything to have your hands behind your head like this, don't worry at all, just keep the hands by the side. It just adds a little bit of work for the upper back and the core. And we'll go for just one more like this. Stay down here. Bring the hands to the mat. Turn the feet so they're parallel to one another. Relax your shoulders, your neck, your arms. A nice deep slow breath in. And now as you exhale, begin to slowly rebuild the spine with soft knees and a strong core. Well done. Okay, so exercise number 1. Let's take our 2 lighter weights and we'll step the left foot forward, right foot back on the mat. We're going to bend the back knee, coming into a lunge, and you'll see that my back knee is coming down towards the floor each time I lunge. My front knee is staying above or behind my ankle, so I'm not stressing out that front knee. We'll just do another 2 or 3 like this. Make it 3, of course. And this time as we stand, let's add in a kick. Step back and kick. Another 3 like this. And that's it. Well done. Okay, we'll change the legs over. Again, make sure feet are lining up with the hips. Start with the bend of that back knee. Trying to keep the body nice and upright. So not only are we working the legs, we're also creating a great stretch to the hip flexor on the back leg. Another 3 just like this. Turn this one into a kick and step back to where you started. 4 more. And that's done. Well done. So we can replace one of these light kettlebells and just stay with either the light one, or if you're doing this for the third or fourth time, maybe you want to go a little bit heavier. We're going to step the legs wide and have the feet pointing forward. The weight will be over here in your left hand. Bend your right leg so that your foot, knee and hip all line up. Place the bell next to the foot, just in front of it. And then as you stand, the weight comes to the shoulder, reaches up and overhead, back to the shoulder, and then bend that right leg to take the weight back to where it started. And again, exhaling as you stretch the arm up. We're going for 10, so if you're a little bit ahead of me, that's no problem. Just means you have a little break at the end. Your right arm is just gonna be reasonably strong to the side. We don't want to lift it too high or anything like that. That will just disturb the shoulder girdle. Last 3 for us. Awesome. So we're going to keep the weight in the left hand, turn to face the right foot. So we've now got our left foot back, right foot forward. We're going to come into a sort of forward lunge. So we're bending the front knee but keeping the knee over the heel. Lower the weight to the floor and then lift to the shoulder. Now as you're doing this movement, the movement itself is a twist through the waist more than anything else. So you're not really lifting and lowering the body, you're just twisting through the waist, loading, unloading the glutes on that right leg. 5 more here. Try and keep your weight through the heel of that right foot. And that's it, well done. Okay, so turn to face me again. Again, feet pointing forward. The weight transfers over to the right hand. Bend the left leg. Foot, knee and hip all lined up. The weight comes down to the ground. Then as you stand and exhale, reach straight up and over that right shoulder. Come back down. So we're feeling as though we're kind of recoiling through that side lunge as we come down. So we don't really pause at the bottom. As soon as we hit the bottom, we come straight back up again. Last 5. You nearly there? Last 2 for me. Maybe you're beating me. The important thing is, with all of these exercises, is to keep the form good and stay in control all the time. Excuse me. So we turn to face that left foot now. Bring the chest over the thigh, knee over the heel, lower the weight, and then twist to lift the shoulder. Down we go. We're making sure that the spine isn't becoming round, so we've got a nice feeling of extension through the spine. And that's what makes this exercise very nice for those with osteopenia, osteoporosis. As long as the form's good, it's good. If you're in doubt and you have a condition like that, make sure you work with a trainer first that understands the condition and can guide you, make sure you're doing stuff correctly. That's our last one. Well done. So, let's put our lighter weight down for now. Take your heavier weight if you want to. And if you have a kettlebell, you're going to hold the kettlebell with the bell in your hands, your thumbs around the horns, so you've got a nice strong grip. We're going to step the feet to about shoulder distance apart. Make sure that the feet are lined up. And then as you breathe in, lower down into squat. As you breathe out, we stand. We'll just do another 4 like this, just to warm ourselves into this. Try and make sure that you have equal weight on each foot, so that we're working the legs evenly. This time, as you stand, thrust the bell into the air above you. Make sure you don't clip your nose with the handle. It's a breath in as we come down, breath out, powering up through the pelvic floor, core, diaphragm, linking the lower body to the upper body. And again, never stopping at the top or the bottom, so we really feel like we're recoiling through that lower phase. Another 3. And we're done. Let's take the bell into the left hand. Take the feet back underneath the shoulders. The right hand can fit behind the head. We'll take a breath in as we tip over to the left, opening up the right side of the ribs, and a breath out as we stand, feeling the core, the pelvic floor, the diaphragm and the intercostals all working to pull the spine back up to its long, tall position. Breath in, allow that breath in to fill the ribs, and out. Feel how each time you do this, you're able to go a little bit further as your spine becomes a little bit more mobile. We'll make this next one the last. Perfect. Change sides. Left hand behind the head. Breath in as we go over to the right, filling up that left side. I really love this feeling of openness through the ribs when I do this. We can even think of this as almost like a breathing exercise. Last 3. And we're done. Well done. Okay, let's take the weight back over to the left hand. Step your left leg back. Come down into a little lunge and pass the weight underneath the right leg. Stand. Step the right leg back, pass underneath the left leg. So each time we step back, we're passing underneath the leg, never over. This one often confuses people when they first do it. It's called a tactical lunge. Each time you step back, making sure that that front knee goes back with you, and that way we can really be sure that we're getting the most out of the glutes. These sorts of exercises are so effective because of the way you're transferring the weight from right to left. It kicks off all sorts of amazing muscular responses, which I won't bore you with now. Okay, we're nearly there. One more each side, and all done. Okay. So we'll just take a couple of seconds to get our breath back, passing the weight around the body. Again, another example of just transferring the weight from one part of the skeleton to the other to stabilize the body. Reverse now. And just one more like that. Okay, so again, I'm going to stay with my slightly heavier weight because I'm holding it in both hands. Feel free to go lighter if you want. If this one hurts your neck or your shoulders, please just admit it. So we're going to take the weight, circle it behind the head, all the way around back in front of the face. Keep going in the same direction. And when I'm working with clients with this exercise, I always say, try not to mess your hair up. And that way we know that we're not moving the head around the weight, and instead we're moving the weight around the head. Make sure your knees are nice and soft when you're doing this, so that we know that we're using the core to stabilize the body and we're not just standing up through a load of locked out joints. Pause there, let's reverse now. Timing your breath, you'll be inhaling with the weight ahead of you, exhaling as you circle back. And we can use that exhale to engage the core, the pelvic floor, as you're at your most vulnerable when the weight is behind your head. Last 3 like this. And we're all done. Okay, so let's come down to the mat. And the next exercise I'm going to build up in 2 parts. So you can use whichever version suits you. The easier version is this. We're going to come onto our side with our elbow just underneath the shoulder, knees stacked, and then raise your hips into a side bend. Take the weight just ahead of you, a breath in and a breath out as you reach the weight over your shoulder. Keep the hips up, bring the weight all the way back down and lift. If you're happy with this, you can stay with this. For something a bit tougher and probably not so great for you if you have diastasis, we'll be here. So we're in a side plank with the top foot forward. Exhale, reaching all the way up. Inhale as you bring it down. Don't need to do many of these, I'm just going to do 5. Exhaling as you reach up, using that exhale to really engage the core. Last one. And the weight can come down. Nice. Okay, so we'll change sides. It's actually quite nice to just do both versions actually. Do the first version and then that builds you up for the second. So when you're ready, once we've all got our hair out of our mouths, elbows underneath the shoulder, hips rise, breath in first, breath out, the weight comes up, breath in to bring it down. The last one of these, for me, you can carry on if you wish. And now up to the hand. Top foot is forward, hand is underneath the shoulder. Shoulder is away from the ear. Exhale, core engages for 5. Nearly there. All done. Well done. Okay, so let's just release ourselves off a little bit from that one. Make a fist, press your rings into the floor, and then sit yourself back down and into child's pose for a moment. So, make your way up from the mat. We're going to lie down on our backs now, so come down onto your back however suits you. If you need to go onto your side, please do. I'm going to take just one of the lighter weights and reach the weight up into the air over my chest. Make sure that your elbows are unlocked. One knee at a time, floats over the hips. Now, if you have a diastasis, this is probably enough for you. You might even keep the hands on the floor and you'll just lift and lower your feet. Done, 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 and keep switching. If you don't have a diastasis, join me now. Take a breath. As you breathe out, stretch out your left leg, reaching it at about a 45-degree angle to the floor, trying to make sure that you don't lose control of your magic button. If you don't know what that is, then go and watch the magic button, part 1, and it'll tell you. Breath in as the knee comes back over the hip. So just stretching one leg at a time. And we'll just do 2 of these on each side before we move on. Next, as you exhale, stretch out the left leg, reach the arms back just halfway. Breath in as you bring it back. Breath out, switch sides. So as you reach the arms back, we're trying to make sure that we don't lose the connection between the rib cage and the mat. And we'll just do one more like this on each side. Well done. Okay, so if you have a diastasis and you're still doing the other exercise, you can leave your hands on the floor now, stretch out both legs like us. And now we'll lower just the right leg as you exhale. Inhale, bring the right leg back. Exhale, the left leg goes down. And inhale, bring it back. Keep going just like this. It's important to keep the remaining leg nice and stable. And still, trying to keep your magic button switched on through the exhale. Let's try just one more. There. Well done. Bring the knees to your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs and take a tiny breather. Okay, let's bring the feet down to the floor one by one. I'm going to keep this kettlebell just to make it easy, but if you want to go heavier, you can now. The elbows are over the shoulders, and you can feel that they're nice and stable there. We're going to bend the elbows so the weight almost touches your head, and then straighten up the arms. And again. So we call this one Skull Crusher, and you can see why. What I'd like you to think about now is how hard each arm is working. Do they feel like they're working equally? If they don't, then try and initiate this lift with the lazier arm. So I know my left arm is not wanting to join the party at all, so I'm definitely going to push just a split second earlier with the left side. And there we go, and then it all starts to work more evenly. Lovely, let's just go for another 2 like this. And we're done. So we're going to take the weight now and place it very gently and carefully upon the pubic bone. If this feels at all uncomfortable, then please do pop a rolled up towel or something soft there. A bath sponge is quite nice. And we're just going to support the weight with our fingers. Take a breath. As you breathe out, we're going to press the hips into the air, keeping the spine neutral. So we're not doing a classic bridge, we're not curling the spine away from the floor. We lower the pelvis, again trying to keep the spine neutral. So by doing this, we're forcing the glutes to work a little bit harder. You can think of the hips folding and then unfolding with the glutes. A breath in as you lower and a breath out as you lift. And we're going to try and keep the pelvis and the rib cage lined up as well, which tells us that the spine is neutral too. Again, just like we did on the last exercise, try to feel which side is probably working harder. Try to activate the lazy side a little bit earlier. All the time. Trying to keep the knees nice and still. Trying to make sure that the knees don't wave in towards one another. Very often they want to do that. Also, try and make sure you don't roll out onto the outsides of the feet. We want to press the ball of the big toe into the floor or into your trainers. We're nearly there with this one, because we really want the inner thighs to work alongside the glutes and the pelvic floor. The next one will be your last. And we're done. Perfect. So, let's come all the way up now. Onto our hands and knees. A little kettlebell free move now. I'm going to spread out the hands and step the right foot back with the toes tucked under. Imagine that you're balancing a champagne glass on your back. Take a breath, and as you exhale, the left knee hovers 1 millimeter off the floor. A breath in as you lower. We'll go again, a breath out as you hover that left knee. Feel as though you're pushing the mat through the floor. Breath in to bring it down, just 3 more this side. Last time coming up. And we can release. Bring the knees side by side. Have a little wiggle through the hips just to release the back. And then step the left leg back. A breath in to prepare. Breath out. Gentle hover. Make sure the shoulders haven't shrugged up towards your ears at all. Just 3 more. If you find working on your hands like this too uncomfortable for the wrists, try rolling up a flannel and putting it underneath the heel of each hand. The last one. And release down. Well done. So we're going to roll all the way up to tall kneeling. Step the left foot forward and come up to stand. Well done. Step your feet really nice and wide. Breath in as the arms come up and over the shoulders. Fit the hands behind the head. Breath out as we tip over to the left. Breath in to circle forward, and a breath out to rebuild through the right side. Breath out again, over we go to the right. Breath in, circle forward, and breath out through the left. Turn towards your left foot, And now breath in as we stretch the arms forward. Breath out as we bend that left knee and sink the right heel back into the mat, leaning back. If you have a diastasis, don't lean back far, just point your fingers towards the ceiling. Now the right hand windmills down just to the side of the left, and you can look up to that left hand. Well done. Knee bends to come back up, windmilling the arms all the way up and over to the right hand side. A breath in, arms come forward. A breath out, bend the right knee, sink the left heel back into the floor. The left hand can windmill down to the side of the right foot, and you can look up and over the right shoulder. The knee bends to bring you back, windmilling the arms all the way back to face me. The palms face down, take a breath. As you breathe out, we're going to take a twist and soar across to the left foot. A breath in to stand tall. A breath out to soar across to the right foot. Feeling that lovely stretch through the hamstrings and the back, maybe even the chest. Well done. So now take both hands onto the left leg and bend that left knee. Press the hips back just a little. You could even, if you have the flexibility, take your hands down to the floor and feel that beautiful stretch through the inner thigh of the right leg. Climb back onto the left knee. Come back to the center. This time the right knee can bend. We can come down, send the hips back, and perhaps bring the hands to the floor too. Well done. Hands onto the right leg. Push yourself back up. Now one last lovely stretch, and we're going to use our friends for this. Take your two lighter weights. We're going to hold them in both hands with the feet underneath the shoulders. And just let the weights gently pull the shoulders down. Take your head over to the left. Allow the neck to take a little stretch. And over to the right. If any of this is painful, please omit it. Back over to the left. Now this time, look down into your left pocket and draw your chin to your chest. We can bring the head back up onto the shoulders. Take the head over to the right. Look down into the right pocket and bring the chin to the chest. Well done. So pop your weights down. One last final stretch. Bring the arms up over the shoulders. Slide the right hand between the shoulders and just gently pull the right elbow in towards the center. Take the body all the way over to the side, feeling that stretch through the triceps, develop into the ribs, and take a deep breath into the rib cage. Rebuild the spine. Take the left hand between the shoulder blades and lean over to the right, filling up that left side. Well done. Thank you for joining me. You're done.